happiest moment playing for RCB as a player was making the final during the first IPL here, and then also following that with making the Champions League final as well.
I've been a part of this side since 2008, so pretty special feeling for me that I was a youngster initially, who just wanted to do well, and now I'm leading this side. So.
Back in
Bengaluru again. All over again for RCB, one more time and forever. Inform everyone that this is going to be my last leg in the IPL as captain of RCB.
Our RCB captain is none other than Faf du Plessis.
Thank you very much to the management of RCB for putting their faith in me to come back and lead RCB. It was a great honor for me to come there last year and captain the side. It's a great team that we
Yes, RCB's captain is Rajat Patidar. Andy Mo, can you just come on stage, and can we have our captain Rajat on stage too?
It's a tradition here at RCB. And we have a new captain. We're going to have Mr. Rajesh Menon hand over the cap. Mo and Andy hand over the blazer to our new captain. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Rajat Patidar.
And you call me.
We're going to actually take a couple of minutes, if I can request only the photographers to step forward for the photo op, please. We have a couple of minutes for the photo op. I can request the photographers to step forward. The start of a brand new phase for the Royal Challengers Bengaluru as the baton passes on to Rajat Patidar. Yeah, thank you. Wishes for RCB's new captain comes in from around the country, from outside of the country as well, and from a few special individuals as well. Who are we talking about? Let's take a look.
I'm here to inform everyone, like the others will do as well, that Rajat Patidar is going to be the new captain of RCB. Rajat, firstly, I want to congratulate you, wish you all the very best, and to tell you that the way you have grown in this franchise and the way you have performed, you have really made a place in the hearts of all the fans of RCB all over India, and they get really excited to watch you play. So this is very well deserved. And to tell you that myself and the other team members will be right behind you, and you'll have all our support to grow into this role of course, it's a big responsibility. I've done this for many years, and Faf's done it for the last few years. And to be seen as the guy who will take this franchise forward, I'm sure it's a huge honor for you, and I'm very, very happy for you. You have earned the right to be in this position, and I'm sure you will grow from strength to strength. I've seen Rajat evolve in the last couple of years as a player. He's got the chance to play for India. His game has improved many levels in the last couple of years. The way he has led his state team as well, and the responsibility that he's taken, and he's shown everyone that he has what it takes to lead this amazing franchise. And I just wish him all the very best, and I would request all the fans to show him absolute support, get right behind him, and know that he will always do what's best for the team, what's best for this franchise, and we must all get together and support him, because regardless of what happens, who does what, the most important thing is the team, and the most important thing is the franchise, and we all have a responsibility to work towards the growth of this amazing team and this amazing franchise. Sending my best wishes to him, and sending all the fans lots of love, and looking forward to see you all soon, and looking forward to have Rajat start off this season with the bangs.
Hi Rajat, it's Faf here. I'm so happy to congratulate you on being the new RCB captain and officially passing over the baton over to you. It's a great honor captaining any IPL team, but it's really special being captain of RCB, as it's truly a great fan base, and you'll see the owners will be there to support you all the way. Also, the coaching staff is there with their experience to guide you, to make sure that you find your feet and have a great time as captain. And lastly, I think you have a great leadership group that will be there with you to support you all the way. So make sure you lean on them, because they will help you when times get tough. But more importantly, keep whacking a ball for sixes. I think that is your biggest strength. All the best, buddy, for your captaincy future at RCB. I think you'll do a great job. I'll see you out there.
I think we can make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. It's the start of a brand new phase for RCB. Make some noise for our newest captain. It's always nice when we hear from former RCB captains, legends of the game. That must make Rajat feel really good. And Rajat, wishing you the very best. I'm going to request the stage to be ready for the press conference. And while we get the stage ready, how many of you know the Rajat Patidar story? He was on the radar of the scouts for as many as 3 years before he made it to RCB in 2021. And, well, the dynamics of the mega auction in 2022 unfortunately meant that he went unsold. But you know what? Fate has its own way of giving you what you want. An unfortunate incident to Loveneet Sisodia in the nets in 2022 meant that Rajat Patidar came in as an injury substitute. And you know what happened after that? The rest is history, like they say. Later that season, Rajat went on to register his first 100 for RCB. It came in a massive eliminator against the Lucknow Super Giants in 49 deliveries at a ground like the Eden Gardens. And since then, Rajat has just gone from strength to strength. Well, when the season started in 2022, he was getting ready for his wedding. Later, when he got to know that he's going to be playing for RCB, he had to postpone his wedding. Wasn't that, well, sometimes you just do some of these things. And like we said, he went from strength to strength. It didn't take too long for Rajat to get the cap to play Test cricket for India shortly after as well. He missed out on 2023 due to an injury. We were all waiting for Rajat to come back in 2024, and what a season he had. It's been wonderful to see the growth of Rajat Patidar from a man who made his debut for this team in 2021 to now be the leader of the pack in 2025. The story of Rajat Patidar is the stuff of dreams. Once again, a big round of applause for RCB's newest captain. I'd now like to request the captain, Rajat Patidar, Mr. Mo Bobat, and Mr. Andy Flower onto the stage, please. Right, the way we're going to do this is I have a few questions for the three of you, Andy, Mo, and Rajat. We'll take those questions first, and then we're going to open up to the media for some questions as well. Right, Andy, we'll start with you first up. I know it's an obvious question, but what made Rajat the obvious choice for being the captain of RCB?
Well, I'm obviously going to talk about a lot of the positive things about Rajat here, so I hope I don't embarrass you too much.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to get this mic a little closer. Yeah.
I could speak for quite a long time about Rajat, but I've settled on three main things that I thought might be interesting to share. The first one is there's a calmness and a simplicity to Rajat that I think will stand him in really, really good stead as a leader and a captain, particularly in the IPL. As we know, the IPL is one of the premier competitions in the world, and there's pressures involved in that. And I think the calm, simple demeanor that inherently lives within Rajat is going to serve him really well in the hurly-burly of that tournament. And his decision-making will be tested, like all of ours is, but I think these qualities will stand him in really good stead. We watched Rajat very closely as he captained Madhya Pradesh in the Syed Mushtaq Ali tournament, and we really liked what we saw around those qualities. The second thing I'd say about him, and he's inherently quite a quiet guy, but observing him, he cares about the people around him. He cares about the people that he plays with, that he shares a dressing room with, and I think that's a quality that means that he will instantly have the respect and care from other people, and that as a leader, those qualities are important in that people will follow you and get behind you. And then the third thing that stands out for me about him is that he's got a stubbornness and a strength and a steeliness about him. I've seen it myself when I'm trying to coach him in the nets and he won't listen to me. But you see it in the way that he plays. You see the bravery with which he takes on the game. And I think that quality within him will be really important for him through the ups and downs, the inevitable ups and downs that come along with playing in the IPL and now stepping up another gear into leading a big franchise in the IPL. So I think those qualities, Navneet, are going to stand Rajat in good stead. We recognize them, we will celebrate them, and I really look forward to watching him in action.
Thank you, Andy, and we look forward to celebrating with you as well. Mo, I'd like to come to you next. Mr. Rajat mentioned that it wasn't a decision that was taken overnight, it took its time. Talk us through the decision-making process and how you all went through that.
Yeah, like Rajesh said, we spent quite a long time thinking about this and discussing this. If I think back to Rajat more specifically, my discussions with Rajat went back to last season when we talked a little bit about his captaincy aspirations, just me trying to find out a little bit more about him. And at the end of that conversation, it became quite clear to me that Rajat was quite keen to take on captaincy, and he was going to proactively speak to his state about some opportunities there, which has then played out for him. And we've been able to observe him in that environment. So I suppose planting some of those seeds a year ago was quite useful and quite important in terms of where we've ended up. The process itself, you go back to probably the difficult decision we had to make about Faf. Faf had been an absolute champion for this franchise as a player and as a leader. Andy and I certainly enjoyed working really closely with him. Unfortunately, given probably age and stage of his career, we had to think at the start of a cycle about probably somebody that can take us on through this auction cycle and then maybe even beyond. And that meant that we made a really difficult decision to move on from Faf, but that certainly wasn't easy. And then with our retentions, it's probably worth noting that we obviously retained 3 players, 3 Indians. And of those 3, it's worth saying that both Virat and Rajat were obviously credible captaincy options for us going into the auction. And then at the auction itself, we spent quite a lot of time thinking about leadership characteristics. We didn't necessarily want to go into the auction and have our heart set on a captain, because we felt that was quite a dangerous approach, and then you end up probably overvaluing somebody potentially. We just wanted to recruit as good and as strong a squad as possible, a balanced squad, and try and have a number of leadership options that could present themselves. So that's how we approached our auction. And if you look at some of the players we recruited, in addition to the likes of Rajat and Virat, if you look at the players that we brought in, you've got Krunal, Bhuvi, Jitesh, amongst the Indians, with a lot of experience and leadership, credibility and experience in the game. And then also from the overseas contingent, someone like Josh Hazelwood, Phil Sol, Liam Livingston. These are all guys that have captained teams and maybe even captained their countries. So we knew that we had quite a big group of sort of options going into coming out of the auction, should I say. And then after that, we got into a little bit more detail. We spent some time discussing things with the likes of DK, who's obviously a really important part of our management team now. Had multiple conversations with Virat. Even had some discussions with Rajat. And I say discussions, they probably felt a little bit more like interviews for Rajat. But Andy and I spent some time talking to Rajat about his captaincy aspirations. And what struck us was that he was very determined and ambitious about leadership and captaincy. And he really wanted to do this. And that was really important for us to understand and feel. As Andy said, we had a really good chance to observe Rajat captaining during the Said Mustaq Ali competition, as well as the other guys. We observed the likes of Krunal, Jitesh and Bhuvi too. But in particular, watching Rajat closely and seeing how, not only how he captained, but how he played during those pressure games in that competition was really encouraging for us. And then after that, probably had a few more discussions, again, in particular, taking input from Virat, who's a person that Andy and I lean on quite a lot for his knowledge and experience, and then discussing it internally as a management team. We felt pretty clear that, for us, there was compelling evidence that Rajat was a really good option for us. And, all the reasons that Andy said, but, for me in particular, really good timing. Fresh squad, fresh captaincy, the start of a new cycle, and for the franchise, the start of a new chapter. Felt like it made a lot of sense for us. And then in particular for me, just reinforcing the points Andy made about Rajat's personality. He's calm, he's focused. And in particular, one of the traits I love most about him is he's very brave under pressure. And in those moments of games where the game's on the line, it's typically been Rajat throwing a few punches for us. And if he can take all of that into his captaincy, which I'm sure he will, and he certainly has done for his state, I think it will stand the team in really good stead.
Thank you for that, Mo. You already alluded to it. Just curious though, what were the other potential options for RCB captains? And was Virat one of the options, potential options to be captain again?
Yeah, look, I talked through some of the options there in the people that we recruited. So Andy and I felt quite blessed that we had quite a few to choose from. Whether we went Indian or overseas was an important discussion point for us. We felt quite strongly that an Indian captain was preferable. That's nothing against any overseas options, of course. We've talked glowingly about Faf, but we're really keen on an Indian option, primarily because it's an Indian competition on Indian pitches against predominantly Indian players. So somebody who's got that local knowledge and insight is really, really helpful for us. So look, lots of options. Of course, Virat was an option. That goes without saying, and I know that the fans would have probably lent towards Virat in the first instance, but we've seen a lot of love for Rajat too. Look, my point on Virat would be that Virat doesn't need a captaincy title to lead. I think leadership, as we've all seen, is one of his strongest instincts. I think it just comes naturally to him. He leads regardless. For us, even last year with Faf as captain, we saw every bit of that. He leads as an example with the bat. The volume of runs and the strike rate that he scored at last year was so impressive and so important for us. He set the tone. He leads in the field. I can think of 2 or 3 specific instances where he's actually created run-out chances and wickets from nothing. He sets the tone. Everyone in the field knows that they've got to be up to their standards because of him. He sets the tone with his energy often. Everyone's seen how much he likes a fight and a scrap and how much he wants to be the person getting us over the line. And then also the things that people don't see as much is his professionalism, the way he practices, the way he trains, his gym routines, his lifestyle, his nutrition. He's an example. So look, I think everybody in the country and everyone in the world knows that Virat's a leader in every sense of the word. Andy and I lean on him quite a lot. Faf has lent on him quite a lot, and we're pretty sure that Rajat will be leaning on him too. Andy and I spent some time with Virat earlier this week, actually, in Ahmedabad, and it was really nice getting some time with him and talking things through with him. And what was so obvious was he had so much energy and excitement for this decision and this appointment. And you probably saw it in the short video as well. He's so pleased for Rajat. Like us, he knows how deserving Rajat is of this opportunity, and he's right behind him, and we saw a real sense of energy and excitement from him. So, look, of course he was an option, but for all the reasons that we've stated about Rajat, this felt like really good timing for us, and it's brilliant to know that Virat's on board and he's right behind him.
We're all certain Rajat's in safe hands with Virat right next to him. Another thing, Andy, that we talk about is the brand of cricket that RCB play. Talk us through what we can expect as we head into IPL 2025.
Well, the easy answer there would be the same sort of brand of cricket that we played in the second half of last season. It would be nice just to pick up from where we left off then. And that brand of cricket that we did evolve into was formed around very aggressive intent, and I think a bravery about the way we took on pressure situations. I think champion cricketers, champion individuals, or champion sports people actually, they have a tendency to walk towards things that might scare them a bit. Whatever doubts they might have, and even the champions have doubts. So I would like us to re-engage with those feelings, with that bravery of taking on the big moments and walking towards things that might seem a bit daunting. So that would be the first thing I'd say. The second thing that I think is important in teams is that the players own their own team, and they have a feeling of ownership about their own destinies and their own careers, but also a real feeling of ownership about the team itself. And of course, us as coaches have input, and we are part of creating the environment. But that feeling of ownership for players is important, because they need to feel free to make their own decisions out there in the middle when there's a lot happening. There's crowd noise, there's run rate pressure, there's the opposition, very skillful opposition that you're coming against in this competition. And they really need to feel free to make their decisions without being overly scrutinized or criticized. So that feeling of ownership is important for us at RCB. And then the last bit is around the fun that I really like the guys to experience here at RCB through the 3 months that we'll be together. And when I say fun, I'm not talking about necessarily all smiles and laughter. I'm talking about the joy of shared experiences, especially tough experiences, and the joy of overcoming challenges. And there will be lots of challenges for us, and there will be lots of challenges for Rajat in the coming months. But taking on those challenges, working closely together, sharing the ups and downs that come along the way. I really want the players to enjoy those experiences. And playing, I first started touring India in the early 90s, which was an amazing experience for me to come into a country with that loved the game so much. And that love for the game has only grown from between then and now. And the IPL is a great example of that. The fervor and the excitement and the love of the competition for those months of the year is something that I'd really like the players to embrace and enjoy. These are the best times of certainly the players' lives. I think most exciting times of cricketers' lives, and for me as a coach as well. So. That's the brand of cricket that we want to play, and the sort of environment that we want to create here at RCB.
Thank you, Andy. And I think every Indian fan will always remember when Andy flowered toward India. Many reasons for sure. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm just going to take that conversation forward back with more before we move to Rajat. Now that we do have clarity for the next phase of RCB as the captain, what are some of the areas that you'll are focusing on? Is there any difference in terms of planning for the upcoming season?
I guess the difference has probably already been felt and seen in some way in what we've done over the last few months. You know, in our quest to keep it, it's important that we learn lessons from the past and we don't repeat things that we think could get better. But we've had a real focus, even through our retention decisions and our auction, on maybe doing a few things slightly differently. We certainly wanted to build a strong Indian core to our squad and our team, and obviously all teams will think and say that. But for us, that meant really adding caliber and experience to our Indian personnel within the squad. We definitely feel like we've done that. You know, I mentioned some of the names earlier, and I'll probably forget a few, but, you know, you think about the likes of Bhuvi, Krunal, Jitesh, we obviously got, you know, Rajat and Virat as well as retained players, but even guys like Yash, you know, there's a number of players there that represent a really strong Indian core for us. Priority. We didn't want to overspend maybe on overseas talent when we think that it's about having that Indian core to our team. We also wanted to really achieve balance, and I think that's been reflected in our squad. And by balance, I mean, you know, in crude terms at an auction, how do you spend your money? But equally across disciplines, our batting, our pace bowling, and our spin bowling. And we're really happy that we've got genuine batting depth to our team and our squad, and it's powerful batting as well, and it'll be complemented with some highly skilled players at the top of the order and through the order. So power and skill is key. And then from a bowling perspective, we've got some high quality bowlers and guys that we think will be effective in our conditions at the Chinnaswamy. So we've spent probably a bit more energy thinking about what will work there. And there are various theories of what might work, but we're going to try something this time round. And we've also invested heavily in skillful spinners and variety of spin. So if you're asking what's different, I think some of that's already been reflected. You know, Indian core, balance to the team, real focus on our bowling, being clear on what it win at the Chinnaswamy. And then obviously the biggest difference is a new captain as well. And for us, you know, for us and for Rajat to lead with that blank sheet of paper, to focus on what's in front of us, to create some of those special moments and memories that we've taught. And obviously we want to go all the way, and we want to be successful and win a few trophies too. So, like I said, it's learning lessons from the past, and some of that has already been formed and forged. If we can build the sort of environment that Andy's just described for the players, and they can really enjoy themselves, I think they'll create loads of special moments for the fans.
Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Andy. It's now time for us to hear from the new captain himself. Rajat, congratulations on your new role. Talk us through your style of captaincy. What is it that excites you about this role? And if you can shed some light on how you intend to take RCB forward.
I really feel good right now. If I talk about my way of captaincy, I'm not that much expressive, but at the same time, I'm aware of the situation of the matches. So I think for me, it's important to back my players and stand with them, and give the sort of environment where they feel relaxed and confident. So yeah, I'm lucky that I'm surrounded by one of the best peoples in the team, and we have a group of leaders as well, where their experience and ideas will definitely help in my new leadership role and growth as an individual also.
And we're happy to have you as the captain of RCB as well, on behalf of all the fans as well. And Rajat, one final question. We spoke a lot about how Virat's going to play a big role as part of the leadership squad. We know how important your partnership with Virat with the bat in the center is. Tell us how you're going to be leaning on Virat as far as captaincy is concerned as you take on this new role.
I think it's a great opportunity for me to learn from one of the best of the cricket. So I think his ideas, his experience, I think it will definitely help me in my leadership role. And yeah, I've done a lot of partnership with him, so I think I know him very well. So yeah, his experience and his ideas will definitely help me in my leadership role.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that partnership with the bat and on the field as well. I'm going to open it up to the floor for some questions here. Nandini, if you can help us. We have our first question at the back here. Yeah, thank you. If you can stand up, please.
Hi, this question is for Mo. Mo? Yeah.
Question for Mo.
Yeah, sorry, Mo, there's a lot of glare, so I can't see too well.
If you can just stand up, please.
Right, you don't need to see me. Mo, you'd mentioned earlier that you picked Rajat after the squad was assembled. So going into the auction, you knew you had a captain. I mean, you knew you needed a captain. There were some options there like KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant and Shreyas Iyer. but there were no real bids put in by RCB. Can you sort of elaborate on why you didn't think that those three, especially KL Rahul, would be a good fit as captain?
Yeah, so all of those guys you've mentioned are obviously fantastic players and excellent leaders, and they have captained or are captaining elsewhere. I think for us, we wanted to focus on assembling the right team rather than just hunting for an individual that might fulfill a leadership role. So for us, it was simply a case of just prioritizing accordingly, trying to get the right team in place, trusting that we had internal options. If we didn't recruit anybody from external, we were very happy with both Rajat and Virat as options and other players that we might recruit. So for us, it was never something that needed to be a major constraint. Those guys are all good players, and I'm sure they'll do well at their teams. We were very happy with the options we had internally. We were happy with lots of the other targets that we had and the guys that we brought in. So it was never really a pressure point or a stress point for our decision making to have to hunt someone or go for them as captain. We had a number of options, and we were very comfortable with the options that we had internally as well.
Next question, please. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Rajat? Yeah, question for you. Yeah. Now, Mo was talking about this is a new cycle and a new team with new plans. So, as a captain, what are the challenges that you foresee over the next couple of years, and how do you intend to tackle them?
As I said, I think I'm not looking back. I'm looking forward from here. So, as I said, as I mentioned earlier, that we have a lot of experienced player and a lot of experienced leaders also. And I think definitely it will help me as going forward from here. So as a captain, if see my way of captaincy is different. So I think I'll back my instinct, and at the same time I'll ask the questions to some of the experienced players, which can help me definitely in my leadership role.
Hi. Rajat, you started your captaincy journey under Chandrakant Pandit, and you have Andy here, two proven leaders who are also very grounded coaches. How do you feed off from both of them as leaders and coaches?
Yeah, I've worked under Chandrakant Pandit also in state team, and here I know Andy. So I think they have a quite similar way of coaching, and they have leadership skills. So I think I'll not feel any difficulties doing captaincy over here. So yeah, I think, but I've done a lot of conversation with Andy. So if the way they have shown me the support, I think I'm confident that whatever challenges will come in the season, I think I have a great bunch of experienced players and coaches. So I think
I meant to ask you the learnings from them.
The
you
learnings
spoke about similar styles, yes.
I think the learnings, I think more about tactically. I've learned with same as a Chandrakant Pandit as well as from the Andy. So I think, and I believe in more in tactical aspect of the game. So I think this is the best learning I've ever learned in both of the coaches.
Thank you.
Hi, this is for Rajat again. Rajat, congratulations firstly. Now, I'd like to ask you that the biggest goal as a captain, of course, would be to win the trophy. And for RCB, of course, it has been a dream for over a decade now. Do you feel that the team that has been assembled this time will be able to deliver? Because that's what the RCB fans have been longing for years together. And more importantly, as far as RCB is concerned, it's always been a batsman-heavy team. This time, a host of bowlers, especially international ones that have been brought into the side. Do you feel, compared to the other IPL teams, this time RCB as a bowling unit can fare better than the previous years?
I think we have a good bunch of bowling unit. I think so. If I compare with the last year, I think we have a good unit of bowling as well. And I think, yeah, this year, especially, this is a message to fans that we will do whatever it takes to take the best results.
Hi, Andy. You spoke about approaching Virat for captaincy. Did he say no to captaincy, or did he suggest Rajat as the more viable option?
Sorry, who's your question for?
Andy.
For Andy.
I couldn't quite hear you, but I think you were asking about whether Virat suggested Rajat as captain. Pardon?
Did he say, I'm happy not being captain and I'd like to suggest Rajat as the next captain?
Actually, look, in our discussions with Virat, I thought and I wasn't surprised, I thought the integrity and maturity that he showed as a man in our discussions with him over this subject were what I'd expect, of the highest caliber. I really enjoyed talking with him. As Mo mentioned earlier, one of the things that stood out was the energy and enthusiasm that he is looking forward to this IPL with. He obviously likes Rajat and respects Rajat, both as a person and as a player. And I think that relationship will be very important. And I think you saw on the video earlier the authenticity with which he spoke. That's exactly what Mo and I experienced when we were discussing the subject with him. So I've got a lot of respect for Virat. My experience of him, particularly last season, in the first half of the season when we were struggling, and he was a huge part of turning that season around for us in the way that he carried himself, in his role modeling of how he works at the game and thinks about the game, in how he supported Faf. And that experience with him last season only made my respect for him grow. And I would say the same thing about our discussions over the captaincy of RCB this coming season. I've only got good things to say about him.
Thank you. I think we have time for a couple more questions.
Question for Rajat here. Rajat, simple सा सवाल. आपका पहला reaction क्या था when Mo or Andy or RCB management ने they came up to you and said that they asked you that about leadership. आपका पहला reaction क्या था, and what do you remember of that conversation, and what was your emotions like at that point?
Last year I think मेरी और Mo की बात हुई थी उस बारे में. तो Mo ने मुझे बोला था कि are you interested in doing captaincy? तो मैंने उनको यही बोला था कि पहले आरसीबी की कैप्टनसी करने से पहले आई लाइक टू हैव अ कैप्टनसी ऑफ स्टेट टीम. तो वहाँ से मुझे थोड़ा सा हिंट मिला था कि मुझे कैप्टनसी मिल सकती. तो उसके साथ ही मैं थोड़ा सा मतलब खुश भी था कि जहाँ से मैंने स्टार्ट किया था अपना आईपीएल करियर, और अभी यहाँ अगर देखता हूँ तो मैं उस जर्नी को काफ़ी अच्छे से महसूस कर सकता हूँ. तो जब मुझे ये इंफॉर्मेशन मिली थी कि विराट और रजत के बीच में कैप्टनसी दोनों में से कोई एक कर सकता है, तो मुझे काफ़ी एक अच्छा मतलब खुश था मैं उस चीज़ को लेके कि जो मैंने सोचा था और जो चीज़ मैं कर रहा हूँ इस चीज़ के लिए, वो बेटरमेंट के लिए, मैं खुद एज एन इंडिविजुअल ऑल्सो. तो मेरा जो एक रिएक्शन था वो काफ़ी अच्छा था. मतलब मैं उसको बयान नहीं कर सकता, मतलब वैसा.
रजत, मेनी कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन एंड ऑल द बेस्ट. थोड़ा सा फॉलोअप वही क्वेश्चन के ऊपर, आपके इंट्रो में भी बताया था कि आपका कैसे आप इंजरी रिप्लेसमेंट जैसे आए थे एक साल, फिर मतलब ऑलमोस्ट शादी पोस्टपोन किया, सेंचुरी बनाया, फिर रेगुलर हो गए. आप अपना पूरा जर्नी आरसीबी के साथ जब देखते हैं तो मतलब कैसे देखते हैं? और दूसरा है कि आपको किस मोमेंट में लगा कि हाँ मैं ये टीम में एकदम टिका हुआ हूं, क्योंकि एक टाइम में आप थे नहीं टीम में, फिर इंजरी रिप्लेसमेंट जैसे आए. तो वाज इट व्हेन जब आपने सेंचुरी मारा, या लास्ट ईयर जब आप इतना अच्छा फॉर्म में थे, या जब कैप्टनसी की बात हुई, कब लगा कि मैं इस टीम का इंटीग्रल पार्ट हूं?
मतलब टू बी ऑनेस्ट मैं कभी ऐसा सोचता नहीं हूं कि मैं इस टीम का, मतलब कहीं भी मैं खेलता हूं तो मैं उस चीज को उस वे में नहीं लेता हूं कि मैं इस टीम का एक मेन पार्ट हो चुका हूं या कुछ भी पार्ट. तो अगर मैं इसमें खासकर मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो सपोर्ट और लव जो फैन से मिला मुझे, जब मैं एज ए रिप्लेसमेंट भी आया और उसके बाद जो मेरी इंजरी हुई थी, जो लव और सपोर्ट जो उन्होंने दिया, आई थिंक मुझे वो मोटिवेट ज़्यादा किया टू डू बेटर एज एन इंडिविजुअल. और स्टार्टिंग से मेरी वन ऑफ द फेवरेट टीम रही है आरसीबी, और आई थिंक उसी टीम से खेलने का मुझे मौका मिला, तो आई थिंक मुझे लगता है कि बहुत आई फील वेरी लकी फॉर दैट.
Rajat, hi. Congratulations on your captaincy appointment. My question to you is, you were here captaining your side during the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy final, and you saw the kind of response the crowd gave you and backed your team. So when you're going out there with the Royal Challengers Bangalore for the upcoming season, what kind of support do you see from the crowd, and how do you want to respond to the support that they'll be giving you?
Wherever I go to play, I think there are a lot of fans, and not only me, all the RCB players. I think the way they support them, and the way they love the players, I think this is one of the biggest plus point of the team, because of their fans. And I'm very lucky that I have too much of support from outside of the ground as well, and I have too much support from my team as well. And I thank to RCB management also, the way they have shown the faith in me. So I'm exciting and looking forward for it.
Hi, Andy. My question is to you. So a lot of teammates of Rajat have attested to how calm and composed he is under pressure. And you all have also mentioned about Virat Kohli being the other member in the leadership group who's different and far more expressive around. So this fire and ice approach in the leadership group, how does this work? Can you shed some light on the advantages and disadvantages? Because there's a senior player whose approach is far different from the captain itself. And what were you looking for in your captain when you have two names with contrasting personalities out there?
Yeah, I think that's a good question around leadership, actually. I think, and my very simple answer to it initially would be, there are different ways to skin a cat. And there are countless examples of different types of personalities being very successful as leaders. So I don't think there's only one way to lead. And I think part of my job as a coach is actually to adjust my coaching style and my communication style to fit in with natural style of of the captain that I'm working with. But in direct answer to the description of the contrast between Virat and Rajat, I think Virat's energy and motivation and drive is really something special to behold in a 36-year-old cricketer that's done everything in the game. I really respect him for it. And I think it's, as I mentioned earlier, it's great role modeling for the younger players and the younger overseas players that come and work with him as well. It was nice to watch it from within the same dressing room last year. I think that'll be certainly Rajat will lean on his experience. He's got an active mind. He's got a great cricket brain. And he will undoubtedly be giving suggestions to the skipper. And the skipper's responsibility there is to listen, assess, and then make his own decision. So it's a bit like if you're standing at slip during a test match. It's that sort of conversation that would go on, where someone suggests something, you think about it as a skipper, and it's important that Rajat can make his own decision, and we would not have advocated his captaincy if we didn't think he was man enough to make those decisions, and he absolutely is. So whoever it is running up to him in the middle when the pressure's on our chair at the Chinnaswamy in front of our brilliant fans, he will have to listen, assess, and then be man enough to make his own decisions. He can do that.
Hi, Rajat. Ratsi from Pick Tracker. I would like to ask you one question: that what sort of a captain do you see yourself for the RCB, and how do you see E-Sala Cup Namde happen this year?
I think for this, it's important to follow the process. I think my strength is more on the process best. I don't look what will be the result of this process. So I think my strength is slightly different, and so yeah, I'll back my strength the way I'm captaining my state team. I'll back the same way in the IPL as well.
Thank you. And thank you for all the questions. I think we have a couple questions virtually coming in. Nandini, if you can take them for us, please.
रजत बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो, काफ़ी सारे मीडिया आपका ये मोमेंट बिग मोमेंट देख रहे हैं ऑनलाइन पे. दैनिक भास्कर से क्वेश्चन है मध्य प्रदेश से. दे वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड कैप्टनिंग अ प्लेयर लाइक विराट कोहली ऑफ सच अ बिग स्टैचर, थोड़ा तो प्रेशर रहेगा या आसान रहेगा या डिफिकल्ट रहेगा, इसके बारे में थोड़ा बात कीजिए.
आई थिंक मेरे हिसाब से इतना प्रेशर नहीं रहेगा, क्योंकि मैं जानता हूँ उन्हें अच्छे से, काफ़ी टाइम साथ में खेला हूँ मैं उन्हें. तो मुझे लगता है कि ये एक मेरे लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी है उनके साथ खेलने के लिए और खेलने की, और उसके बाद उनका एक्सपीरियंस और उनके जो आइडियाज़, उनके जो थॉट्स है, आई थिंक वो मुझे काफ़ी हेल्प करेंगे एज अ लीडरशिप क्वालिटी में.
बिफोर दिस अनाउंसमेंट क्या आपने पर्सनली उनके साथ बात करने के लिए मौका मिला, और क्या एक पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट है उनके लीडरशिप से which has impressed you a lot and you want to carry forward?
अभी तो मुझे इतना बात करने का टाइम मिला नहीं, क्योंकि वो बिजी थे वहाँ पर मैचेस में. तो और अगर क्वालिटी की बात करूँ तो मैं चाहूँगा कि उनका जो द वे दे रीड द गेम, आई थिंक आई लाइक टू ऐड दैट स्ट्रेंथ इन माय ओन लीडरशिप क्वालिटी.
और ये जो लेगेसी की बात कर रहे हैं, ये क्वेश्चन है एक्चुअली इंडिया न्यूज से. ये पूछ रहे हैं कि ये जो लेगेसी है आरसीबी का, we've seen Rahul Dravid captain, we've seen Faf du Plessis, we've seen a lot of iconic players captain the squad. So how do you see this opportunity? Is there some pressure coming in, ahead of this big role that you will be playing this season?
Of course, there is a pressure, but at the same time, I'm confident about myself, the way I'm captaining the team of the state team. So I'm pretty much clear in the mind, and how I have to go about it. I have that belief and I have that confidence. So yeah, I think this is the great opportunity for me, as I said earlier, that to lead one of the best IPL franchise. So yeah, there are a lot of experienced players, a lot of experienced leaders, experienced staff, I think. So I think, yeah, it will help me grow individually and as well as a leader.
Thank you very much. No more questions. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I just want to say that it's a landmark day as far as the legacy of this club, this franchise is concerned. We want to say a big thank you to the media for coming by. All the best to Mo and Andy. And last but not the least, Captain Rajat. We just want you to know that millions of RCB fans are right behind you and wishing you all the very best for IPL 2025.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A big round of applause one final time for RCB's newest captain, Rajat Patidar. Thank you. We have tea, coffee, and sandwiches being served on your right. Please help yourself. Thank you.